Hey guys, so I am on some much needed PTO for the next few days, and with that time off from work, I'm going to try to work on my living room. So everything has been coming together in the rest of the house, but the living room is the big room that has the most left to do in it. I still need to paint it. I still need to get my bookshelves put up, and then I have a piece of furniture that I want to buy to put in here. So there's a lot that needs done in this room, and I've actually kind of intentionally been putting it off because a few months ago, I think it was probably at least 2 months ago, that I thought I was going to paint the living room. I started painting the dining room and got overwhelmed by how big of a project it was because I didn't actually realize at the time just how big of a project it actually was, because I have a lot of doors and a lot of windows in my house, so I have to tape off a lot of stuff before I can actually start painting, and I didn't fully realize just how much there was to do just to prep to paint. So I actually just put the whole project on hold and went and worked on other parts of the house. I have my bedroom done, the bathroom's done, the kitchen's done. So all that's left is the dining room and the living room. So the dining room, I just have a little bit of painting to do, like above the doors and windows that I didn't get done the first time, and then the living room. So like I said, the living room's the biggest project left to do, and I want to try and make some progress on it while I'm off work for these few days. So I'm taping everything off, and I'm also re-caulking along all of the trim because the plaster had kind of started to chip away where it meets the trim. You can actually see up here. So this is what the unfinished section looks like, and that's what all of the walls look like where it meets trim. So this is where I'd already done it, so you can see it's nice and smooth and you can't see a gap or anything like that versus the way it looks up here. And some sections are worse than others. So I'm doing that also, which is like an extra step that I wasn't anticipating. But when I realized how bad the walls looked, I couldn't not like fix this because it doesn't look good, and painting over it is not gonna like fully hide the way that looks. So I'm also doing that. The table isn't here right now because I finally bought a power sander. So I took the table down into my basement so that I can sand it and stain it down there. I still have to take the drawer down, but I finally got that, so that project will be happening soon. I'm probably not going to worry about that until after I'm done painting in here. And then another big project that needs to be done in here is my bookshelves. So this corner is a complete disaster because all of my books are stacked up over here. I don't think I ever went into detail about why. It's been 5 months, however long, 4 or 5 months that I've been living here, and my shelves still are not up. Basically, I hung my shelves up at my last place by myself, and I thought that I did it once, I can do it again. But this is a much older home. The way that it was built is very different. I have plaster walls here versus the drywall that I had at my old place. I have never dealt with plaster walls before, so I don't have any experience with it, and basically it's just a lot harder to hang the shelves up. And after a lot of error, not even trial and error, it was just error after error after error of trying to put the shelves up myself, I realized I was out of my depth and asked my brother for help. and basically trying to coordinate with him to get him over here to get these shelves up has just been a disaster. So hopefully the plan is he's going to come over this week and finally get the shelves up for me. So hopefully that actually happens and we get them up without any more issue. And once those are up, I will finally be able to put all of my books away. So I really hope that I can get that done this week, because that's a really big piece of getting this room set up that has been on hold since I moved in November. So I really hope that that can get done. So that's what's going to be this huge empty space on this wall. Is going to be filled up with all of my books, and it's going to look really good, I think, hopefully, because once the shelves are up, they are not coming back down. So I'm going to get those put up, and all my books are going to go there, and then this corner will be emptied out, and the piece of furniture I want to buy is going to go in this corner where my books are now. So I wasn't originally planning on getting this piece of furniture, but as I was trying to decide on kind of the final look of the room, I thought that I wanted a piece of furniture to put my printer on, because before I had it on this table and it literally took up half of the table. So the table wasn't even usable as a table. So I decided I wanted to get something that I could sit my printer on, and it made sense to have it over here. My brackets are finally up, thank goodness. So all I have to do before getting the shelves up is that I want to paint this wall first, because obviously I don't want to paint around the shelves. So I'm going to paint this wall, and I want to try and get that done before I go to bed tonight. That way it'll have all night to dry, and then first thing tomorrow I'll put the shelves up and start getting all my books put away. So we are making progress. I'm so excited.
전에 나는 잊어 네가 아닌 모든 건 다 지워 내 두 눈엔 오직 너만 보여 Can't remember anything before you 눈을 뜨면 내게 달라졌어 이제 다른 세상이 돼 나를 가둬버린 너 전부 앗아버린 너 머릿속이 새하얗게 변해 변한 만큼 모든 걸 비워내 I got you booyah got you booyah I got you booyah I need you 나를 알기 전에 너는 잊어 내가 아닌 모든 건 다 지워 Can't remember anything before you Can't remember anything before you 너를 알기 전에 나는 잊어 네가 아닌 모든 건 다 지워 잠깐이라도 눈을 감으면 또 조금 겁이 나는 것 같아 세상 어디서라도 너만 곁에 있어준다면 I need you 나를 알기 전에 너는 잊어 내가 아닌 모든 건 다 지워 Can't remember anything before you Can't remember anything before you 너를 알기 전에 나는 잊어 네가 아닌 모든 건 다 지워 내 기억은 너 하나로 채워 Can't remember anything before you 이대로 잠들지 않길 원한다면 오늘 밤 네 곁에 I got you booyah I got you booyah I got you booyah I need you 너를 몰랐었던 나는 잊어 네가 없는 기억은 다 지워 Can't remember anything before you Can't remember anything
Everything you've seen up till now was recorded back in April, and it is now August. So I am going to finally record the conclusion to this video. So the living room still isn't quite done because I've been working on other things and just haven't actually finished the little small details, which is why I never recorded this video till now, but I decided I'm happy with how everything is. I fidgeted around with a lot of stuff for a while, and I feel like it looks the way that I want it to look, so it's a good time to record a final overview of how the living room looks. So let's start over in this corner. This is the new piece of furniture that I recorded putting together and setting up. It's where I put all of my office and craft supplies, and then I got it to sit my printer on. I think it works well for what I wanted, and it's got the sort of 50s geometric shelving sort of vibe to it, which is what made me want to get it. So I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. You can't really see because it's a little too dark, but these are drawers here, and then this is a cabinet over here. And then I have my cork board above that with just a bunch of random things on display, Hot Wheels mostly, and then some random pictures and what have you. And then you come over here and you have my refinished table, which isn't actually quite fully refinished yet because I have to add a top coat to it because the stain started to fade, I guess, from the sunlight coming in through the window. I thought it would be okay without any sort of top coat on it, but it's not at all. Looks fine on the video though. You can't really see how bad it looks with the color fading, but I've got that there. I think it looks significantly better than it did before, and I have my two little chairs there. At some point there's little like gold accents on the table with the feet and then the handle on the drawer. I think at some point in the future I might spray paint those and the chair frames just to kind of make them look better and match a little bit more because they're so faded that I feel like if the color was fresher it might actually look a little bit more matchy, but because it's so worn out you can barely even tell that the little accents on the table are actually gold. So we'll see. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks now though. And then I have my little drawing desk over here. This hasn't changed at all. I just have a lot of random stuff piled up on top. And I don't currently have, so before I had a little thing hanging here with my drawings on it. That's not there because I'm still trying to fill in this huge crack that was in the wall. You can kind of see it on camera. I haven't gotten it to look quite the way that I want it, and I kind of got like super annoyed that I couldn't get it filled in as good as I wanted, and I kind of just gave up on it. But before I hang this back up, I wanted to try and finesse this a little bit more so that it's not quite as obvious, because you can still very clearly see it like in person. So I'm trying to get that to look a little bit better. And then come over here. This hasn't changed at all. I still have my two Star Trek posters here. But over here, I switched out this for a different poster. So it's still the same frame as before, but I had this Doctor Who poster for ages. I got it so long ago, and I kept it because I always thought it would look really nice in a frame. So I reused this poster frame that I already had because I don't actually have a poster big enough for this frame anymore. The one that I bought it for, I got rid of. So I no longer have a poster this big. But I decided to try and make mats so that it would fit the smaller poster. So these black and white mats that are in there, I actually made using stuff that I had, and on camera you would never know that they're not real mats, but in person you can tell. But they don't actually look too terrible. I'm actually happy with what I managed to do with what I had, because I actually reused stuff. Like, I reused the paper insert that came with the frame to create this smaller black mat, and then the white mat is actually also an insert that was like a collage insert that came with the frame, and I kind of just cut out the middle of it to create just a border. And yeah, you would never know. It actually came out pretty well, other than the reflections from the light that's kind of ruining the view of the poster. Maybe if I come all the way over here, you can kind of see the whole poster. So I have that there. My DVDs are still in the same spot. You can see I still have this taped off because I haven't finished all the trim work over here yet. That's one of the last big things I need to do to finish up in here, is to touch up the trim over here, and then I have to do some of the trim over there as well. But I have my TV here. I fidgeted around with this a lot because I just was not happy with the decor stuff that I had on here, but I finally got it looking kind of the way that I wanted it, which actually involved having to add in more holes so that I could put this shelf higher. So this is like adjustable shelving here, but I wanted the shelf to go up higher. So this is like the highest holes, and I was like, no, it needs to be higher. So I actually used like a nail and a screwdriver and like made more holes so that I could put a shelf up higher. And it was a pain, and the shelf isn't level, but you can't really tell. It actually looks fine. So I've got all my little knickknacks, and I think it looks pretty good. And all the kind of cluttery stuff is tucked away in here. So I have like my game consoles and my games and my routers in there. So it looks good. I'm happy with the way that finally turned out. I was debating if I wanted to paint this TV stand because it's like a dark brown and then my TV is black. So everything kind of all looks black, and I thought it might look better to have a contrast between the TV and the stand that it's on. So I was thinking to make the stand like a light gray and then the black TV on top. But now that I switched around the knickknacks and stuff, I'm not as sure about painting it. So I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet. But for right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. So you come over here. This is completely new. So I got this from my sister. My cats do not use it, but I like the color of it. It's like a dark blue. It kind of matches the rest of the room, and I didn't have a cat tree, so I'm just going to keep it there. Like I said, I like the way that it looks, and I like the way it looks there in particular. I think it's kind of put something in that empty space that makes sense to be in front of the window, I guess. So I'm happy with it being there. I also have my clock up there, which I showed a little bit. And then I still have my comics over here, but once again, I fidgeted around with this a bunch, and I'm much happier with it now. So I moved my bigger books in binders over here. So this is the stuff that's too tall to fit on my bookshelves. So some old textbooks and some notes from school. So I've got all that down there. I've got my little candle collection down there. Not sure what my cat is trying to do. But I don't know what's happening. Anyway, and then I have my comics on these too. So I have my 2 bins, and then those are full of comics as well. And then just some little decor-y things on there. And I've got some stuff here on top. This is a planter. It doesn't currently have anything other than dirt in it because the plant in it died. And my little Hawkeye picture. Down here I have my other cat. And she's on her little lounge scratcher. She loves this thing. Don't you, Smokey? She loves it. You can see that she loves it because she's destroyed this thing. And since putting it here, she has also started to lay on it as well. So she's been using it like crazy ever since I bought it for her. But since I put it in this specific spot under this window, she also now sleeps on it all the time. So that is going to stay there because for whatever reason, there she likes to sleep on it. I've had it a couple other places and she wouldn't lay on it anywhere else, but loves laying on it when it's there under the window. So that's where it's going to stay. And then you come over here. My little furniture area hasn't changed at all. I have my rug that has flattened out, thank goodness. So when I bought this rug for in here, it was super lumpy. And I knew over time that it would flatten out, but it did take a little while before it flattened out. But it is finally completely flat. And I definitely think this looks better than the rug that I had in here before, because I had like a black rug in here. I think the lighter color looks better in here. And it's also, anytime I get something like this that's like a bigger item, I always look through like clearance and markdown stuff, so I don't buy necessarily, you know, the one that I love the most. I find the one that's half price, that's close to what I want, which I wanted something that had kind of a grayish tan color to it, and ended up coming across this one. Just kind of got like a random splotch design to it, and sort of these, I'd say like a medium gray to like a tannish color. So I think it looks pretty good. It has some little random gray accents throughout the room, so it was nice to bring it in with the rug. And I haven't changed anything else with the furniture. Everything else is the same. And then I have my bookshelves. I'm finally happy with the way the shelves look. I kept fidgeting with them for the longest time. I couldn't quite get them the way that I wanted them to look. I kept moving the books around and rearranging the knickknacks and stuff, but I'm finally happy with the way it looks right now. I'm sure I'll move them around again, but I'm pretty happy with where they are for right now after moving them around for probably like the 10th time. But all of my books are over here, like I said, other than the textbooks that I already showed. All the other books that I own are on these shelves. And then I have just a little fan there because it is very hot. And then my lamp. And we're back to this corner. So that is the almost finished product of the living room. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with how it looks, but I obviously still have some stuff to do, like with finishing up the trim work over by the stairs isn't obvious, like still haven't finished. I still have paint supplies tucked away over there beside the chair because the trim work isn't quite done, but I've been working on, like I said, a lot of other stuff. I kind of shifted my focus to other things. I will eventually fully finish at least the painting in the living room. I don't know that I'll ever feel that it's completely done, but like I said, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks right now. I think I achieved what I was trying to achieve, which was sort of a 50s inspired look. So yeah, I mean, look at that shot, like right there. I'm pretty happy with it. It's like nice and bright, with just the right amount of like black accent, I think. So yeah,